We begin this afternoon with breaking news. A fire truck that tumbled off the broken I-15 freeway in the Cajon Pass is getting ready to be removed.
Workers there using heavy equipment to right that truck after clearing mud and debris from the ravine where it landed. Danya Backus is at the scene, and she's got the latest for us. Danya?
You guys described this scene perfectly, a very active scene where they are trying to remove that fire truck. Actually, that fire truck has been removed from this area, but as you can see, crews here still working on making sure that that lane gets repaired. This is actually a 200-foot section of the road that just collapsed. Let's go ahead and take a look at some video that we have from last night when this happened. A fire truck was basically parked on a section of this road, parked there, of course, during that rainstorm that hit us so hard last night when the road just literally collapsed and that fire truck collapsed down with it. It was a dry creek bed, we've been told, that runs along the southbound side. It overflowed and washed away the rock slope protection below the road. It then eroded the lower slope and caused the shoulder and the lane to collapse for that 200-foot section. Right now, crews have been out here since about 11 o'clock this morning. It has been a process. What they had to do is basically dig that truck out, then put it upright, and then of course they have removed it. They've taken it pretty far down. I'm going to ask my photographer to move down. If you can see where some crews are down there, some flashing lights, the fire truck is actually down there. They're waiting for a tow truck to come and pick up that fire truck. So this has been a process, like I said, started about 11 o'clock this morning. Right now there are some lanes still closed, as you can see behind me. This is State Route 138 and Cleghorn. We're told it's down to just about 2 lanes. Traffic is moving pretty steady, but of course, if you're coming to this area, prepare for some delays. Reporting live this evening, Danya Backus, Fox 11 News.
Danya, thanks very much, and good afternoon to you. I'm Susan Hirasuna.
Good to have you with us. I'm Logan Burns. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 11 Weekend News.
A massive cleanup is underway across the Southland following yesterday's epic storm, and at least 5 families are trying to understand how their loved ones died in weather-related incidents. Victoria Spilabati is live from Sherman Oaks for us. Victoria?
Susan, this storm was so powerful it took the lives of at least 3 people in the greater Los Angeles area. One of those people was a man who was killed here when this huge tree behind me toppled over, hitting some power lines. A massive tree ripped up from the roots is sprawled across a portion of Sepulveda Boulevard. Part of the aftermath of Friday's storm, the tree took down with it power lines that electrocuted and killed a 55-year-old man as he sat in his car.
It's tragic for that person that had to, that ended up losing their life because of this.
Jack Miyamoto and other residents are upset.
The tree was dead for the longest time.
He says neighbors petitioned the city for several years to cut down the oversized tree, but nothing was ever done.
As a result, it cost a life, and 3 cars get smashed up, and it's totally unnecessary. This could have been avoided.
Heavy rain and floodwaters from the powerful storm claimed a second life in Victorville. Swiftwater rescue personnel tried to free a person trapped inside this car submerged underwater, but they discovered the victim already dead inside. And in Moore Park, the sheriff's department says they rescued a group of 3 men. But another man in his 20s was swept away near the Arroyo Conejo Creek.
Our initial investigation revealed that they were down in the area hiking.
Detectives say they pulled the man's body from the rising creek downstream from where he first went in.
People don't understand how dangerous they are. Being so close to them with that current can sweep them away.
And we asked the city to comment about this tree, about why it was never taken down. Although residents say it was dead, the city says that they don't comment on these individual situations regarding these trees, and they responded to over 1,000 calls for tree services during this last storm. We're live in Sherman Oaks. Victoria Spilabati, Fox 11 News.
And while the storm has passed, lots of trees throughout the area remain vulnerable in waterlogged soil. Here in Laurel Canyon, this large pine tree fell into a house and pulled down high-voltage power lines. Nobody was home at the time, but the homeowners have a large cleanup project ahead of them. Emergency crews are working as fast as they can to repair a 20-foot sinkhole just off Laurel Canyon Boulevard. The sinkhole opened up last night just after 8 o'clock and could take days to repair. The Department of Public Works says it was likely caused by heavy rainfall combined with a sewer failure. The no hazardous waste escaped. Last night, firefighters arrived to find one car upside down inside the sinkhole and another teetering on the edge, eventually falling inside. As you saw, both drivers escaped unharmed.
A driver was killed this morning on a wet and foggy Highway 18 just south of Crestline. First responders say the white vehicle, possibly an SUV, skidded off the road from a higher section of Highway 18 and then plunged about 300 feet down. The female driver, who has not yet been identified, was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators say the roadway was icy as this happened at an elevation of about 4,000 feet. It was also foggy, but the CHP cannot say for sure if this was a weather-related accident. Meantime, up in the local mountains, this epic storm was certainly great for people eager to hit the slopes. About 2 feet of snow falling at the higher elevations. That, of course, meant that these snow plows had to come out at night to clear the roads for people planning on going up for the 3-day weekend. In fact, Mount Baldy put out a shred alert today, which of course means that the conditions are awesome for those who like to perform those aerial snowboarding stunts.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure, Logan, you can do a pretty good job with those aerial stunts. I'm sure Susan can, too. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us at this hour. A very impressive storm. The bulk of it now has shifted eastward away from us. But we're still getting the backside of this area of low. You can see here now pushing on east into Arizona. And that, like I was saying, still enough energy to produce some isolated shower activity. So most of us did get those cooler, cloudy conditions and a few on-again, off-again showers. You can see here through the San Fernando Valley, again, a hint of an active cell that went through a little bit earlier, just very light at times. And we're going to move over to the Orange County, the San Bernardino, Riverside County locations. Also some shower activity down the 215 and as well as the 15 freeway stretch. So slick road still in some areas, but most of us slowly going to start to dry out, and that's beginning tomorrow. So we get a little bit of a dry pattern, and then beginning, unfortunately, Sunday night into Monday, another round. A storm not as strong will be making its way through our region. Areas along our mountain communities, the San Gabriel Mountain, Wrightwood getting some light snowfall, as well as the areas of the San Bernardino County Mountains still remains with snow. High surf advisory still in effect. Back to you guys.
Very good, Samara. Thank you. Thousands of protesters marched in downtown LA today to oppose President Trump's immigration policies.
Come on, there's got to be a few thousand people here. You guys can do better. Come on, one more time.
The march began at Pershing Square and ended with a rally at City Hall. Demonstrators are asking city and county officials to refuse to invest any resources on immigration enforcement. They also say they want to ensure that a new fund to provide legal assistance to immigrants won't exclude those with criminal convictions. 500,000 protesters were expected, but only about 2,500 showed up, possibly because of yesterday's rains.
There's a new effort to create a single-payer health care system in California. Supporters say their proposal would counter President Trump's attempt to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Now, under the single-payer system, the state would negotiate prices for services and prescriptions with health care providers and pharmaceutical companies. The two-page bill was introduced in the state legislature yesterday, the deadline for introducing new legislation. Supporters say single-payer could rein in high copays and deductibles.
The woman whose lawsuit assured women the unprecedented constitutional right to abortions has died. Norma McCorvey, was the Jane Roe in the 1973 U.S. Supreme Court decision in Roe v. Wade. Her lawsuit initially challenged the strict abortion laws in Texas. The Supreme Court decision eventually led the way to legalized abortion in all 50 states. 22 years later, McCorvey made a 180-degree turn, becoming active in the pro-life movement. McCorvey died at an assisted living facility near Houston, Texas. McCorvey was 69.
They're the good guys, but they're being paid to do bad things.
Coming up next, we've got the story of computer hackers companies hire to break into their own systems.
Hello? Oh, you're kidding.
Life is hard enough. Toyota Care makes it easy because our no-cost maintenance plan comes standard and it keeps your new Toyota running like a Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Time Warner Cable is now Spectrum, redefining what a cable company can be, giving you the power to turn any night into a movie night with over 200 channels available in stunning HD and thousands of titles free on demand. All for $29.99 a month when you call 844-349-2999. Plus, get the freedom to surf, stream, post, and game from all your devices with Spectrum Internet, delivering the fastest starting speeds, 100 megabits per second, with no data caps and a free modem. Just $29.99 a month. Then, connect with family and friends near and far with unlimited nationwide calling and unlimited calling to Canada, Puerto Rico, and Mexico with no added taxes or fees. Get Spectrum Voice for just $29.99 a month when you call 844-349-2999. All with no contracts and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get the power of Spectrum. Call 844-349-2999.
When you were 8, you wanted to fly. When you were 13, to be a rock star. At 20, an artist. All these years later, you realize you had it right the first time. The 2017 Q50 from Infiniti. Lease the Q50 2-liter turbo for $319 a month or finance at 1.9% APR at your Southern California Infiniti retailer.
We created jobs. We raised the minimum wage, and we cut our city's business taxes and passed a tax credit, bringing film jobs back to LA. Together, we've made progress. Together, we can make a lot more.
Eric Garcetti for mayor on March 7th.
There are 5 days of the week. Friday, 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 and everyone's favorite, Friday. Sizzle, pork, and
Massive storm rolling in.
Major storms hit SoCal.
Heavy rain.
Very strong wind.
70 miles per hour.
Stay with Fox 11 News for comprehensive storm coverage.
Road closures / flooding.
Live updates on communities across SoCal.
Red alert for the burn areas. Mandatory evacuation.
For big storm coverage, count on your storm station. Fox 11 News.
The dishonest media, which has published one false story after another, with no sources, even though they pretend they have them, they make them up in many cases. They just don't want to report the truth, and they've been calling us wrong now for 2 years. They don't get it, but they're starting to get it. I can tell you that.
President Trump taking another shot at the media at a rally there in Melbourne, Florida this afternoon. This weekend, the president plans to interview at least 4 candidates to be his national security advisor. The interviews are expected to take place tomorrow while the president stays at his private South Florida club, Mar-A-Lago.
And while President Trump rallies in Florida, his vice president made his first trip overseas. The visit to Germany and Belgium is intended to reassure world leaders the U.S. is committed to global security and addresses Russian aggression. Kitty Logan has the details.
Vice President Mike Pence is attending the annual Munich Security Conference in Germany this weekend. The U.S. delegation is aiming to ease some concerns over the U.S. commitment to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Today, on behalf of President Trump, I bring you this assurance. The United States of America strongly supports NATO and will be unwavering in our commitment to this transatlantic alliance.
Global leaders have been on edge after President Trump's statements calling for allies to pay their fair share. Currently, only 5 of 28 NATO nations spend the required amount on defense.
The promise to share the burden of our defense has gone unfulfilled for too many, for too long, and it erodes the very foundation of our alliance.
Top of the agenda for discussion is Russia. Vice President Pence met with the president of Ukraine today. The Eastern European nation has been the center of Russian aggression in the West.
We must hold Russia accountable and demand that they honor the Minsk agreements, beginning by de-escalating the violence in eastern Ukraine.
We don't want to provoke a conflict, we want to prevent conflict and to preserve the peace.
And therefore, our aim is not to isolate Russia. We don't want a new Cold War. We don't want a new arms race.
President Trump has yet to take a hard stance on Russia, but Russia has been testing the new administration by sailing a spy ship close to the east coast of the US. In London, Kitty Logan, Fox News.
The commission in Miami-Dade County voted to uphold the mayor's decision to cooperate with federal immigration officials, stripping one of the nation's largest metropolitan areas of its sanctuary city status.
The federal government requires or requesting a detainer for that individual, has to show probable cause, and then we will retain that individual for up to 48 hours for immigration, and then if immigration does not pick them up, they will be released. That's all that we did here in Miami-Dade County. No more and no less.
The mayor ordered his corrections department to comply with a presidential executive order ensuring that the county won't lose out on federal funds. Miami-Dade County is unique because it is the only U.S. county where more than half of the population is made up of foreign-born residents.
As intelligence agencies continue to investigate just what Russia might have done to hack into American computer systems before the election, companies all over the nation are equally concerned about their security.
Some organizations go so far as to hire their own hackers. Ken Wayne explains.
President Trump gathered security experts at the White House recently to talk about cybersecurity. From the Department of Defense to hospitals to banks, hackers are a threat to everything from national defense to your checking account. Mark Kerr hires hackers to break into all of those institutions.
How successful are you?
We are successful nearly 100% of the time.
Kerr is the chief technology officer at Synac, a Redwood City firm that is hired to hack into computer networks. He hires what are called white hat hackers, good guys looking for bad guys in cyberspace. They only get paid if they're successful, and some of them earn hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
A typical hacker is late 20s. Some experience as a security professional, could be self-taught, but they live all over the world.
Sometimes when the white hat hackers break in, they discover the black hats are already there.
So you can see evidence that they've left software there to allow remote command and control.
Kerr says most hacks into private computer systems are by organized crime organizations looking for ways to get money. Other hackers have different agendas.
Russia wanted to cause some outcome in the election. What that outcome was, did they get the one they wanted? We don't know. We think that they wanted Trump elected, but is that true? Who knows?
How convinced are you that Russia was actually behind this?
I'm very convinced.
Kerr knows about government surveillance. He worked at the National Security Agency in cyber operations. Foreign governments have been successful in stealing American secrets.
If you notice, the new stealth fighter in China looks exactly like an F-35. That's not a coincidence.
Right. But he says the worst is yet to come.
I do think we'll see a devastating cyber attack in 2017.
Kerr says America's infrastructure, its power grids, dams, water systems, all of it connected to the internet and not as secure as they should be.
If we're talking about the Hoover Dam and somebody hacks into the Hoover Dam and opens that up when we don't want it to, we've got big problems.
The price of launching an attack is just a few keystrokes. That's pretty cheap, especially for a terrorist organization losing ground in Iraq and Syria. Kerr says the modern war in cyberspace will be never-ending, and America needs to keep its guard up.
There will always be this problem, right? There will always be a cat and mouse game between the attacker and the defender.
The first SpaceX launch from NASA's historic Cape Canaveral launch pad has been delayed. The countdown was halted with only 13 seconds remaining. Flight controllers could not resolve an issue with the second stage of the Falcon rocket. Now they'll try to get it spaceborne tomorrow. This will be SpaceX's first Florida launch since a rocket explosion last September. The launch pad, home of the historic moon launches, hasn't been used since the last space shuttle flight in 2011.
Always fun to watch those launches,
yeah.
Especially when they're successful, right? I mean, we all hope for that. Well, as the massive storm moves out of our area, we get to take a quick breath, and then we look toward next week.
Ah, yes. Will we get a respite, or will next week hold more rain? Samana Khan has the forecast coming up next. All right, live at... We're looking live at Long Beach. I wasn't sure I could hear myself. That's why I was hesitating. But you see there the wind south blowing, so there is a breeze, but not as violently as the winds were blowing yesterday.
Today's Daily Deal is from Jacoby & Myers. If you've been injured in a car crash, call the name you can trust. Jacoby & Myers has helped injured people and their families for more than 40 years. Jacoby & Myers will help you get justice and the settlement you deserve. Call for a free confidential consultation at 1-877-4-JACOBY or go to foxla.com and click on the Daily Deal to find out how Jacoby & Myers can help you.
Fox 11 News is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places.
The hydrogen-fueled Mirai. Its only emission is water. Toyota, let's go places.
I just picked up the cake for the baby shower.
Yay! You know she's having a boy, right?
Oh boy.
Buick now has an SUV for that. Introducing the new Buick Encore.
I knew I could trust you guys with the cake.
Oh, no problem. That was close.
One of 3 luxury SUVs from the new Buick.
Current lessees, switch to Buick and get this low-mileage lease on this 2017 Encore for around $199 per month and with $829 due at signing.
George Washington is famous for cutting down a cherry tree. And this President's Day, Sit and Sleep is cutting down prices. We're cutting over 50% off select beauty rests. Sealy, Serta, Kingsdown, and Sherwood. Normally $19.99, now just $9.87. Save up to $500 off select Tempur-Pedic adjustable sets. And sleep interest-free for 24 months. So this President's Day, let Sit and Sleep cut down prices on your next mattress. Sit and Sleep will beat anyone's advertised price, so your mattress is free!
There's nothing like a President's Day weekend road trip in a new Volkswagen. Except maybe a President's Day weekend road trip in a new Volkswagen after getting a $500 bonus. Right now, you can get a President's Day bonus on a new 2017 Jetta or Passat. Hurry in and you can lease this 2017 Jetta S for just $159 a month, plus a $500 President's Day bonus.
It looks like the can is standing still.
He's totally right.
Modern Family. Monday at 7 on Fox 11.
An explosion and fire this morning at the Torrance refinery exactly 2 years after a blast there crippled the plant and led to higher gas prices. Crews had the fire out in about 30 minutes. There were no injuries and no evacuations, and so far we have no word on any damage or the cause of the fire. Other than the affected unit, the refinery is continuing to operate. Interestingly, today a big safety rally was held at the refinery for about 400 employees. One of them sent us this photo. The massive job of cleaning up tons and tons of mud has begun in Duarte and Santa Clarita, both areas clobbered by yesterday's big storm. This is a look from Skyfox. Big earth movers were out in the Sand Canyon area scooping up mud and debris. Roadrunner Road, closed yesterday due to massive flooding, is back open now. Skyfox then headed over to Duarte in the burn area, where you can see there's still a lot of water in the streets, but the K-rails did their job and kept most properties from getting flooded. But for one Sand Canyon resident, she wasn't so lucky.
Water, a lot of water flooded in my house. Shocked. Only I'm shocked because everything is broken.
Well, Santa Clarita officials say anyone who sees damage should call LA County's non-emergency line 211 and report it, because officials are planning to apply for federal disaster assistance.
And many of you sent us pictures of the storm that roared through Southern California. Take a look at a few of them. Edward Munoz sending us this picture of a tree that crushed a fence there. And John Palastro sent us in this picture of a tree that blocked the road and also hit a car, I think. Okay, well, we'll get onto this one. This one's Susan Bell shot this photo in Orange County. The man there in a sailboat going down the middle of the street. This is in Rossmore. How about that? And in Long Beach,
oh my goodness,
look at this guy making the best of the situation, relaxing in the inflatable raft, having a cold one.
Is it warm enough for something like that? I'm just saying. I don't know.
Maybe he ran back in the house and got warm.
He's a polar bear.
Shot.
We want to thank everyone who sent us photos or called in tips. If you see breaking news or have a news tip for us, please let us know. We so appreciate it.
All you have to do is just download the Fox 11 News app from Apple or Android, and you can also email us your tip at news@fox11.com. So there you go. That was a fun one. And they got the sailboat out, too.
Yeah, that's so funny. All right, Samara.
Hi there.
Samara, enough already?
I know,
what?
right? Oh, yesterday, the massive storm, and because we knew about it early enough, everyone did such a great job preparing for that. So we did get various, of course, variations of the really severe stuff, mudslides and flooding, but we also had an opportunity to see some of the fun stuff, too, like the guy on his raft. Hi there, everyone. So the bulk of the storm out of our area, and that's the good news. And behind it, look at this. Yes, a rainbow, a sign perhaps that the worst is over for right now. We were talking about how this latest storm was a massive one and the biggest so far this season, with rain amounts between 2 to 6 inches of rainfall, and we did in fact see those numbers. You could see that area of low pressure. This is what was causing all that havoc yesterday, now slowly shifting into Arizona as it moves east. We're talking about that wraparound flow. You can almost see that in the atmosphere, that kind of rotation. We're getting that backside, and that's why some areas did see some showery activity today, though mostly cloudy, a little cool and a little chilly for some folks. A few active cells still making its way through our region. We're talking about portions of Orange County, Riverside, and Santa Ana locations also getting a hint of moisture. Snowfall, also really great looking amounts, still snowing up at those areas. That's why winter storm advisory still in effect for our mountain locations all the way up through the Grapevine, as well as the areas of high surf still in effect at this hour. We're still dealing with the potential for 10 to even 15 feet when it comes to surf heights. Right now, conditions a little cool. LA right here at 59 degrees. Ontario checking in at 56. So we're below average for this time of year, and it's going to start to slowly get better by tomorrow. But we do have another round of rain coming, but nothing like the one that we saw just yesterday. Here's a look at our rainfall totals. These are official amounts from this morning. Old Man Mountain, this is an area of Ventura County. We're looking at almost 10 inches of rain. Malibu Canyon, almost 5 inches. So very great looking, impressive numbers. We also had a few record breakers. Long Beach, almost 3 inches of rainfall, broke an old record of just about 2 inches. Lancaster, dating back to 2005, also broke their record. Snowfall amounts, look at this. I know it is President's Day weekend. A lot of folks enjoying the snow. Snow Valley, 8 to 10 inches. Some areas near Mount Baldy got almost 2 feet of snow. Here's a look at how the day and evening will progress into tomorrow. Sunny conditions, and then that opportunity for some more rain coming into your Monday commute. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast before we wrap it up here. So temperatures going to remain mostly on the lower side in the 60s. More shower opportunity for us coming in Monday. Clouds come along, but look at this, a nice little dry pattern to the latter half of the week for many areas, LA, Inland, OC, Valley communities. And then we move over to the mountain areas. Temperatures still going to be a little cooler, but overall, you do get a little bit of opportunity to dry off before another rain chance comes our way. Guys.
Samara, thanks. Workers at Oroville Dam continue racing against the clock to fix the damaged spillways there. Engineers today saying that the water level dropped by more than 45 feet. They've been reducing the flow of water to make those repairs a lot easier and also clear the debris collected at the bottom of the spillway. They also believe that the upcoming storms will not dangerously impact the water levels. About 188,000 residents were evacuated last weekend. They are still not allowed to return home. And the Oakland Metro Opera House has canceled a show tonight because of safety concerns. The Swedish black metal band called Marduk was supposed to perform. This is the Facebook post of the letter sent to the Opera House by the Oakland Police Department. Now, in the letter, police say that the group profits from Nazi images and anti-Semitism. The letter goes on to say that police are worried that protesters might show up to that event and that public safety could be at risk. It also references the riots that forced the cancellation of the speech by far-right blogger Milo Yiannopoulos at UC Berkeley earlier this month, and also said the special event unit did not get enough time to meet and prepare.
Some Chrysler cars are being recalled. The 2014 to 2017 Dodge Charger and Chrysler 300 vehicles equipped with all-wheel drive are being recalled because drive shaft bolts can come loose. Chrysler says dealers will replace all 8 front drive shaft bolts free of charge. The recall of about 75,000 vehicles is expected to begin at the end of March. There haven't been any reports of accidents.
The Better Business Bureau wants you to know about the latest phone scam where answering just a simple question can actually rack up your phone bill or even steal your identity.
Brad Satin explains what the callers are trying to get you to do.
It starts when your phone rings and there's a stranger on the line.
What if I said, "Can you hear me?" You'd say,
I'd probably say, "Yes, I can hear you."
And with that simple word, yes, the Better Business Bureau says a scam is born.
People call you up and they essentially want you to say something affirmative. They want you to say yes. They want you to say, "I agree." They want you to say something that they can later use.
Turns out the bad guy on the other end is recording your yes.
but all they have is me saying yes.
Sure, but they'll create a script ahead of that where they'll be talking and saying, "Are you interested in whatever product or service? Do you agree to purchase this?" And then they have you saying yes.
From there, they can act as a third party, charging you through your phone bill, or if they're able to steal your identity, your credit card. And even if you spot the change,
it looks and sounds like a verbal contract. And when that happens, it's going to become a he said, she said situation. And that's how the scammers make their money.
Sounds far-fetched, but several reports have come into the BBB today, and you won't believe this.
In the last couple days, our office has received a couple calls directly from these scammers. We've also had...
They've actually been calling the Better Business Bureau?
Yeah, because they don't know who they're calling. They just dial numbers.
Sadly, most we spoke to today weren't surprised.
We used to think it was mainly the elderly that were getting hit, but now everybody is, whether it's bank accounts and otherwise.
I think it's frightening, but it doesn't surprise me.
The best simple advice, let an unknown number go to voicemail. And if it sounds suspicious when you pick up...
It's perfectly okay to hang up the phone. You don't have to be polite.
It's the world we live in. Give out limited information, even to well-meaning reporters.
Tell me your name.
Diana.
And your last name. You don't have to give it to me if you don't want to.
Yeah, you just better not, right? Don't say anything. Oh my goodness, how scary. So we've got a personal question for all the guys out there. Is your libido lacking a little bit?
Logan, talk about getting personal. Coming up next is a surprising ingredient in soap and other personal care products that could be damaging your sex drive.
With its legendary reliability and standard Toyota safety sense, the 2017 Corolla will appeal to your rational side. But its bump and sound system will appeal to your other side.
And now, at the We Make It Easy sales event, get great offers like these on a new Corolla. Your Southern California Toyota dealers make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
You know, you paid too much for those glasses.
Who?
You. They charged you too much.
Who?
Practically everyone, unless of course you shopped at America's Best.
Who?
America's Best, where 2 pairs of glasses and a free eye exam are just $69.95.
Ooh.
Yep, that's America's Best.
Who?
Just keep up. It's not just a better deal, it's America's Best.
Real lives here, with new adventures all year long, where magic is great, but reality is unbelievable. where you can touch the sky, then dive into a world of events and flavors. We are for real, and real is amazing. Buy a fun car, pay for less than a day, play all year, and get ready for the all-new Electric Ocean, Ocean Explorer, and Orca Encounter opening this summer. SeaWorld, real amazing.
This President's Day, get to Nissan now and save on a lineup with intelligent safety features and America's best truck warranty. Take on the everyday with 6 2017 IIHS top safety picks. It's clear why we're America's fastest growing auto brand. Now get President's Day offers like 0% financing for up to 72 months. Plus, get no payments for 90 days on 11 models.
It's okay to cry, right?
No more! We don't want any more!
Keep calm. The price you see is the price you pay. AT&T Internet. Everyday price and no extra monthly fees, unlike cable. Speeds up to 45 megs for $30 a month.
I just picked up the cake for the baby shower.
Yay! You know she's having a boy, right?
Oh boy.
Buick now has an SUV for that. Introducing the new Buick Encore.
I knew I could trust you guys with the cake.
Oh, no problem.
That was close.
One of 3 luxury SUVs from the new Buick.
Current lessees, switch to Buick and get this low-mileage lease on this 2017 Encore for around $199 per month and with $829 due at signing.
We've got some breaking news for you. Sky Fox is over Malibu, and Kevin Takumi is up there. This is the kind of thing we expect to see, Kevin, after all that rain.
Yes, Susan, this is the west end of Malibu here. This is Mulholland Highway, just about a mile north of Pacific Coast Highway. County Works as well as CHP got a call that rock and mud had come down the hillside here and is now blocking Mulholland Highway. Now, county crews just came on scene here. They have a dozer and a couple other vehicles here. They're going to try to clear it, but you can see there are portions of a lot of this dirt and mud that came down the hillside here from the recent rains and is now blocking things. Edison was out here to check to see if any power lines were disturbed, but so far, no effects to the power system. That's the latest overhead. Sky Fox will send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Are you killing your sex drive with soap?
Turns out some soap could be washing away your libido because of one chemical. And as Matt Johnson reports, while that chemical is banned in other countries, it's still being sold here in the United States.
This Valentine's week, men are coming clean.
How often do you shower? Do you use a lot of soap?
I'd say 2 showers a day.
Sharing their shower secrets.
I'm a bar soap guy. Definitely a bar soap guy. Definitely strong lather.
I do prefer like the vanilla or like oatmeal vanilla kind of stuff, you know, the hand soap.
But men should be picky because sudsing up with certain soaps could be killing your sex drive.
Well, we've known for years that triclosan is a major hormone disruptor.
Internist to the stars, Dr. Gary Cohan.
In men, it specifically disrupts the cells in the testicles that produce testosterone, and it can really damage a man's testosterone production. So if somebody's having a problem with fertility, that could be a major issue.
Cohan says the chemical has been around since the 60s, first used as a pesticide and rat killer. Today, it's most likely in your medicine cabinet.
And guys, it's not just the soap you need to worry about. There is a whole list of products that this chemical is in,
including antibacterial soaps, shampoos, body wash, deodorants, shave gels, and some brands of toothpaste.
We don't know the long-term effects, but remember that one of the biggest problems we face right now is with antibiotic resistance. And so if we're using antibacterials really widely and we're running out of antibiotics, we're going to be in real trouble with these superbugs.
Which is why the chemical is already banned in Europe and soon to be off store shelves in the U.S. this September. But until then, men, you've been warned about the chemical that could wash your sex drive down the drain.
I don't think my libido could get lowered, but yeah, now that I know about it, I will definitely take a second look.
Matt Johnson, Fox 11 News.
Well, it looks like a burger. It tastes like a burger, but it's not meat at all. So would you eat it? Sharon Crowley takes a closer look at what could be a big food trend.
Does the sound of this make your mouth water? You're not alone. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Americans consume billions of pounds of ground beef every year. What if you could get the same texture and taste without the meat? Los Angeles, California scientists have been working on it since 2009. They claim to have produced a meatless burger, right down to its sizzle in the pan that replicates the real thing.
We began the company in 2009 really with the basic idea that you didn't need an animal to create a piece of meat.
Ethan Brown is the CEO of the company Beyond Meat, a company that's developed substitutes for both chicken and beef. He grew up on his grandfather's dairy farm and developed an appreciation for animals. And now he's a vegan.
Consumers are more and more looking to transition from animal protein into plant protein, but they are unwilling to make large sacrifices in taste and texture, aroma, etc. And so what we've done is try to raise the bar and create products that require almost no sacrifice on the consumer's part.
His team created a meatless burger that he says has both the flavor and texture of real meat.
We take materials from plants, we take protein, we take fat, etc. from plants, and we run them through heating, cooling, and pressure, which if you've had pasta or if you've had a Cliff Bar, for example, or something of that nature, you've had something that's run through a similar process. We are essentially realigning the proteins that you find in plants so they take on that fibrous texture and that architecture of muscle or meat.
But is a meatless burger good for you? Dr. Vincent Pedre is a board-certified internist and the author of the book Happy Gut.
The good side of it is you're replacing meat with a much more renewable resource, right? But the question is the ingredients that are being used. Are they genetically modified or are they non-GMO? That's important in terms of health. The question is more, when you're combining ingredients, what is the effect that that's going to have?
He suggests looking closely at the label of anything you eat. The fewer ingredients, he says, the better.
I am a big believer in eating food the way that nature made it. If somebody is choosing to eat a meatless protein, what are they going to eat it on? What are they going to combine it with? That is the big question, because you don't want your diet to be monochromatic in any way, whether it's plant-based or meat-based.
So now it's time to put the burgers to the test. Well, it looks like a real hamburger, but does it taste like one? It does. Wow. Something to consider the next time you barbecue. Sharon Crowley, Fox News.
New research shows switching to whole grain foods may help you keep your weight in check as much as a brisk 30-minute daily walk. Tufts University researchers found that whole grains seem to lower the number of calories your body absorbs during digestion. They studied 81 people aged 40 to 65 and randomly assigned them to eat either a whole grain or refined grain diet. People on the whole grain diet absorbed fewer calories and their resting metabolic rate was also higher. Experts say the findings provide good evidence that consuming whole grains is an important part of a healthy diet.
I'm Rick Lozano. Coming up in sports, Clayton Kershaw on the verge of making Dodgers history. Tonight's poll, in your opinion, who's the greatest Dodger pitcher of all time? Kershaw, Sandy Koufax, or Don Drysdale? Log on to foxla.com/vote. Plus, out at Riviera, they got some golf in today. Even though they don't show hops, this is how a golfer slam dunks. Sports is next.
This is the Silverado Special Edition.
This is one gorgeous truck.
Oh, did I say there was only one special edition? Because actually there's 5. Nice.
Strength and style.
Which one's your favorite?
Come home with me. It's Truck Month. Find your tag for an average total value over $11,000 on Chevy Silverado All-Star Editions when you finance through GM Financial. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
This is what luxury included feels like. Chefs are creating masterpieces. The staff is putting their finishing touches. Bartenders are shaking things up. Butlers are preparing for your arrival. When can we expect you? Sandals, the world's only 5-star luxury included resorts. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
Time Warner Cable is now Spectrum, redefining what a cable company can be, giving you the power to turn any night into a movie night with over 200 channels available in stunning HD and thousands of titles free on demand. All for $29.99 a month when you call 844-349-2999. Plus, get the freedom to surf, stream, post, and game from all your devices with Spectrum Internet, delivering the fastest starting speeds, 100 megabits per second, with no data caps and a free modem. Just $29.99 a month. Then, connect with family and friends near and far with unlimited nationwide calling and unlimited calling to Canada, Puerto Rico, and Mexico with no added taxes or fees. Get Spectrum Voice for just $29.99 a month when you call 844-349-2999. All with no contracts and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get the power of Spectrum. Call 844-349-2999.
X. X is that unknown factor. X is provocative. X is where you find the shiny stuff. X is love and lust and power and pomp. This is the X side of infinity. Lease the Infinity QX60 for $409 a month, or finance at 1.9% APR at your Southern California Infinity retailer.
Fox Monday 24 Legacy is just getting started. Get on board with the series critics are calling the best show of 2017. An all-new 24 Legacy, Den.
Police, don't move! There's too many of them. You gotta get out of there!
An all-new APB after 24 Legacy, Monday on Fox.
Things are getting back to normal at LAX after yesterday's storms. More than 300 flights were impacted during the height of the storm. Southwest Airlines canceled almost all of its flights in and out of Southern California Friday, along with some today. Also today, several traffic signals went out in the central terminal area and in surrounding roads of the big airport, creating even more chaos, as you can imagine.
Wounded veterans are getting an uplifting experience on a ski lift. A former Marine is leading the way to a downhill experience in Mammoth. Trace Gallagher has the story.
The explorer John Muir said going to the mountains is going home. Fitting, considering home is why these wounded warriors fought.
Just the tranquility of it, you know, you look around and there's nothing really other to think of other than, hey, I'm pretty much in a giant postcard with my best friends.
U.S. Marine machine gunner Donnie Morris served several tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, injuring his back, suffering PTSD. Repaying his sacrifice is impossible, but offering a dose of exhilaration and inspiration helps.
Just getting out here and getting away from the, hey, what's wrong with you? What's, you know, how are you feeling type of stuff is better just to do this.
There you go. Good job.
Retired Air Force Master Sergeant Shay Hampton suffered chemical exposure in Iraq. Of his group, he was the sole survivor. And though he will forever carry injuries to his brain and his back, today he feels alive and well.
It's a blast. I've, you know, crashed a couple of times, but I guess that's expected, and I'm having a great time.
Thanks to a combination of equipment dedicated to getting them back on the mountain and people dedicated to giving them back their spirit.
There you go, perfect.
I don't feel like I fit in. And with these fine folks here, they don't make me feel like an outsider. I feel like I'm one of them, and that's important.
And that's the goal, to bring wounded warriors here year-round, offering everything from recreation to rehabilitation to education.
To come out and feel the wind in their face and the sun on their cheeks, I mean, that's real healing.
Healing for every military branch, from every military era.
It's a place where you can come and unwind.
Or wind up. 87-year-old Korean War vet Bing Bingham says he plans to stay in the game and on the mountain.
This is an amazing place for guys to come and enjoy each other and enjoy this.
In Mammoth Lakes, California, Trace Gallagher, Fox News.
Fox 11 Sports is sponsored by Carl's Jr.
Boy, what
now
a
I
great
understand
story, huh?
what Rick was talking about New Orleans. Sorry. Yes, it was a great story, and I've been in Mammoth when the Wounded Warriors were there. It's always fascinating to watch them, and yeah, they're very happy to be there. It's great.
Yeah,
but
great
meantime,
story.
we were talking about New Orleans, and now I understand why.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
got
you're starting with.
the All-Star game coming up tomorrow. Yeah, I wish they'd get through the All-Star break. Let's get back to the real games. I know it's a great thing for a lot of the fans to see because they vote on it, but you know, the All-Star game is one of those moments in time in sports where you just want to get through it and get back to the real games. Anyway, the NBA Slam Dunk Contest is tonight in New Orleans, but we may have already seen the dunk of the day as we kind of segue over to another sport, not basketball. It happened in the rain-delayed second round of the Genesis Open at Riviera Country Club.
Or make that the first 7. 4 holes, 10 through 16 on the back 9 right now. This is when you've got to throw in a bit of...
Oh, like that? Wow. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, you can hear it hit the stick. Take a bow, Cameron Tringali. That is how you close out the second round of play. The Orange County native holds out at number 18. The pin barely moved. Even the official scorer on the right of the screen there was amazed. The birdie put Tringali at 9 under par. That's one shot back of leader Dustin Johnson. Dodger manager Dave Roberts today made the easiest call he's going to make all season. Clayton Kershaw will be the Dodgers' opening day starter when they play the San Diego Padres at home April 3rd. Mark that on your calendar. It'll be Kershaw's 7th straight season opener. That ties Don Drysdale and Don Sutton for most consecutive openers. Who knows? Kershaw may go up against now officially former Angel Jared Weaver in that opener. Weaver and the Padres have agreed to a 1-year, $3 million deal. Last season, Weaver went 12-12 with the Angels, his ERA just above 5. The Angels drafted the 3-time All-Star out of Long Beach State. Weaver played 11 seasons for the Halos. Crosstown Showdown. The basketball edition tonight at Pauley Pavilion. USC looks to beat 6th-ranked UCLA for the 5th straight time. Can that be right? The Trojans upset the Bruins earlier this season on their home court. UCLA is pretty much a lock for the NCAA tournament. Another Trojan upset will help their tournament bid. Earlier in Pac-12 play, 7th-ranked Oregon thumped Colorado.
Squad last year for Colorado, and it's going to start this year as Bell gets the steal. Watch out, here it comes.
The Ducks' Jordan Bell rings the bell with that dunk. The Oregon bench on their feet. Ducks up by 13 at the break. In the second half, Oregon forces a turnover. Chris Boucher gets the ball at the other end, and he bends the rim. The Ducks crush Colorado 101-73. Your final. Back to tonight's poll. Who's the greatest Dodger pitcher of all time? Kershaw, Koufax, or Drysdale? And right now, what does it say up there? Drysdale by a big bunch, it looks like. That's it. SC, UCLA will have those highlights tonight at 10.
Terrific.
Very good. Look forward to it.
Yep.
It was an unusual request for Make-A-Wish, but a brave police officer made it come true. 16-year-old Alyssa Elkins has leukemia. She said one of her wishes was to tase someone, so police made it happen. They made her an officer for a day and let her use the taser on another officer who volunteered. Afterward, Elkins said she didn't realize her wish would inflict so much pain. But the officer who was tased said it was worth it to make a sick girl's dream come true.
It's like that
Don't
scene
tase me, bro. Don't tase
it's like
me,
that
bro.
scene in The Hangover where a couple of the guys get tased. We'll be right back right after this.
Hello? Oh, you're kidding.
Life is hard enough. Toyota Care makes it easy because our no-cost maintenance plan comes standard and it keeps your new Toyota running like a Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
It's the Ford President's Day Sell-a-thon. For 4 days only, get $1,000 trade assist cash. That means you can get up to $6,000 cash back plus 0% for 60 months on a 2016 Ford Edge. The President's Day Sell-a-thon ends February 20th.
At AT&T, we believe in access, the opportunity for everyone to explore a digital world, connecting with the things that matter most. And because nothing keeps us more connected than the internet, we've created Access from AT&T. California households with at least one resident who receives SNAP or SSI benefits may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, deposit, or installation fee. Visit att.com/access now to learn more.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Dad, I'm gonna text you pictures of the cars that I'm test driving.
Yes, Cerritos.
For the world's largest selection of cars, come to Cerritos Auto Square's President's Sale.
Nice.
With over 23 brands, you're sure to find just the car you're looking for.
Another one?
At our biggest President's Sale ever, picture your selfie getting an incredible deal from the world's largest selection.
Yes, Cerritos Auto Square.
Maestros lead with confidence, exactness, inspiration. At GMC, we're in tune with that degree of precision. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the GMC Acadia. The next generation SUV has arrived. Current lessees switch to GMC and get this low-mileage lease on this 2017 Acadia SLE1 for around $279 per month with $529 due at signing.
It's the Ford President's Day Sell-a-thon. For 4 days only, get $1,000 trade assist cash on many of our best sellers. Get $5,000 cash plus 0% for 60 months on a 2016 F-150. Don't miss the President's Day Sell-a-thon. It all ends February 20th.
Amazing before and afters of women who lost half their size.
I've lost 200 pounds.
All new Oz.
Monday at 1 on Fox 11.
A cat is being called a hero for saving 5 people in a home in Florida. The family says Gizmo, who you see there, alerted them to a house fire. You see, it was late last Thursday night, unbeknownst to the 5 people inside the home, an oven mitt was left on top of the toaster oven and it caught fire. Well, that's when little Gizmo stepped up. She found Ron Perkins asleep there on the couch and meowed until he finally woke up. Perkins then saw the smoke and was able to quickly put the fire out before it spread. Way to go, Gizmo.
Yay, cat. An Ohio brewery is going the extra mile for its employees. Appropriately named Brewdog, the company is giving workers a week of paid time off if they adopt a new puppy or rescue a dog. The brewery's owners say they know that bringing home a new pet can be stressful.
Aww.
They care about humans too, by the way. The company also expanded paternity and maternity leave for employees who have a baby.
Oh, isn't that
4 legs
terrific?
or 2.
All right,
There
give it some love back. That's going to do it for us for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll have the latest news for you on the Fox 11 10 o'clock news later on tonight. We hope to see you then.
¿Dónde vas?